when we first met, one of the first things that I remember is that you were really big on counting calories. Do you remember that?
I still do.
Oh, you do? Oh my God, you just keep it from me.
I still do. No, I just like, I keep track of what I eat.
Okay.
But some days, like some weeks, I'm like, I maybe will like look at my food like maybe 3 times. But sometimes when I'm on the road and I'm just eating random stuff, like that's when I kind of like to keep track of it. Cause just for me, like sometimes you can put a gazillion things in your body and you don't realize that you've done it. That's usually more when I keep track of it. When I'm home, I'm pretty much in a routine of like, I kind of eat similar things and I have my kind of a routine of home of food. But yeah, when I'm on the road, let's keep track of it. But it's not like I'm doing it to like lose weight or like anything. I really like making it a list. This is a problem. I enjoy my lists. See, I keep all my anxiety lists and my sleep lists and I have all the apps for everything. I do a lot of lists. Yeah. And I enjoy it. It's like when I get up in the morning, it's part of my morning routine is like, how did I feel? It's kind of, you take stock in like how your day was.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you're going to make a list, you might as well make a list about things that are important to your health. So I think that's really good. Okay. So, but I know you remember this. One of the first things we did is put the continuous glucose monitor on you. What do you think? Because that's a big thing for my community. I really, deep in my heart, feel like we would change the metabolic mess that the world is in if we put one of those continuous glucose monitors on everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it was eye-opening to see, what my body was doing. And I haven't had one in a while, but I feel like I got to know like what foods triggered it, what didn't, how to stay, if I was fasting, like what not to do in that fasting window. Like, did cream in my coffee like spike it too much, that kind of thing. So yeah, I think it really helps me understand how to eat to especially when I was fasting as much as I was at the time, to really kind of understand what that does to my body.
I think it internally motivates people too. Like I could have told you all the right things to do. And there's a point I think that you can reject the information because it's difficult or it's just like confusing. But when you actually see it real time, now you're in ownership over your food because you eat something, you can eat what I recommended, you can fast the length I recommended, and then you actually see it real time. But I want to talk about what happened to you when you fasted, because I think I don't talk about this enough. I'm a lemonade gal. I like to let's go to the lemonade. Let's talk about the upside of everything. But I think it's really important because so many people that listen to this podcast fast, and not everybody's had a great experience. And you were one of them.
Fasting, talk about something that brings on anxiety. Fasting for long periods of time, well, for me, a long period of time because of how I react to it is like, a 16-hour fast is a long fast for me because around 13 hours, I'll start to get anxious. So whenever my body flips over into ketosis, for some reason, I start to have this like body anxiety and it's uncomfortable. And so I get anxious about having that feeling. In fact, the last 2 days is the first time I've gone 16 hours in a while. And I've had a different experience this time around, which may be contributing, or like everything we've done for my health may be contributing to that different experience. But yeah, it was a very uncomfortable feeling. And I wasn't hungry. It wasn't about like the food or anything. It was just, even with my glucose monitor, I would have a spike in my blood sugar when I started to flip over into ketosis. But then I would check my ketones and my ketones would be completely fine. Like I was still in ketosis. So it was really interesting how my body reacted to that.
Yeah. The experience you had based off your numbers did not match what typically should be there. So where my brain went with this, and then again, I think this is helpful for people who have that same experience, is at first, I thought maybe you have too much adrenal stress. Maybe your life is too stressful. And so now we're adding this other stressor on. And so the anxiety is coming because progesterone stores are low, cortisol levels are high. And so we put you into this fasted state and it raises cortisol even more, tanking progesterone. Now you're anxious. Does that sound right?
I mean, that could be possibly one of the issues. I mean, the other issue that I was having was my B vitamins were not my B vitamins basically like weren't actually going into the cell.
Yeah.
And that possibly was contributing also.
Yeah.
I mean, there's we still haven't really figured out what it is.
What it was.
Yeah, but that I have over these past couple of days had a different experience, which is great. So
And so this is why I think that part of the story is really interesting, because here we are 2.5 years later, and you are like, okay, I went and tried it again, and now it's different.
Yeah.
So because we've done so much repair work, and one of the things that I always say is that fasting is for everyone, and I get so much criticism on that. And
why?
Why do I get criticism, or why do I?
No. Why do you get criticism?
Because people say, I tried fasting, it's not working. It's tanking my thyroid. My doctor told me not to do it. I mean, you can give me every reason why somebody shouldn't fast, and I've got an explanation for it. To me, fasting is a healing state you put your body in. It's like sleep. Sleep is good for everyone, but just because you can't, but not everybody can sleep. I mean, talk to a few menopausal women,
right.
I'll tell you.
Right.
So it's a training, and it's a way of getting you have to figure out what blocks it and why your body's not going there. So the B vitamins, so
that the fasting is a natural.
It's a
you
natural
should all be able to go to, but
that's right.
Clearly something's blocking that if it's not working.
That's right.
Got it.
So then your work becomes to figure out what's blocking you.
Right.